Henry Ford is credited with saying, "The only mistakes we truly make are those in which we learn nothing." And I've learned from this mistake. And I'm going to share this mistake with you so that maybe you don't have to make the same mistake. Maybe you can learn from mine. All right, so this is the Wrong Way Garage, and I still have never gotten anything just right on the first try. Sometimes I have to cut it out and start over. Sometimes I got to figure out how to move forward from where I'm at. And every now and then, I just have to stop and thank God to be alive, and then figure out, what do we do now? All right, so we gotta... So the bolt that goes here off the stupid truck is not needed on the stupid truck for obvious reasons. So we're going to use that bolt to replace this bolt, which unfortunately means I've got to cut this bolt off right next to the fuel tank. Give that a second to cool down, because I got to turn the other direction now. All right, let's pause right here, because I tried to watch this video 4 different times, and the moment I got right here, I knew what was coming up and could not finish the video. So in the process of editing will be the first time I see this part of the video. Hindsight 2020, I had multiple options. I just wasn't thinking about that. I could have done like Clint said, Clint Street Machines, and disconnect the rear end of the springs and twist the spring and beat it out, and then the bolt would have left a mark on the fuel tank, which is not a big deal under this truck, but I could have taken a Sawzall to it. That I had options, but I wasn't thinking about that. The grinder was hitting the frame of the truck, so I had to turn it around. And then it started chattering up against the bolt, which is bad, and we all know that. If you use a cutoff wheel at all, you know that that chatter is going to lead to something negative. So then I moved to the other side of the bolt. In the process of trying to direct the sparks away from the fuel tank and downward, I slid the grinder too far up. And I was not paying attention to the top side of the grinder because I was looking at where it was contacting the bolt. I think now we all have this thought process in our head that gasoline is not flammable, it's the fumes that are flammable. Son of a... The moment that my hand got wet, I moved it away from the fuel tank. and did my best to turn it off as fast as possible. So in the drop video, I mentioned that it took a full day's worth of labor. What I didn't mention is that we did everything up into cutting the fuel tank on the first half of day one, and the second half was spent with me just thankful to be alive and too rattled to continue. On day two, we spent the first half of the day with me running to town, picking up every single version of a fuel tank patch kit that I could find between the 3 auto parts places. And then I had to fix the fuel tank, or at least patch it, at which point we could move forward, and the rest of the labor was done the second half of the second day. So now I've got this beautiful patch on my fuel tank, which so far is working wonderfully. So here's the deal. I made the mistake. I know I made the mistake. I know how I made the mistake. And I know that I had options that could have kept me from making that mistake, even if it was just paying closer attention. So what I don't need is a bunch of comments telling me how big of an idiot I am, because I am fully aware. But what I do need is for those of you that do your own metal work and do work like this to learn from my mistake so that you don't make a similar mistake on your project. Peace, love, and mini trucks. Of the 3 patch kits that I bought, JB Weld seemed to be the most user-friendly. I scuffed it up with some sandpaper, cleaned it up with some alcohol, and then applied it as the directions said. It said it was a permanent patch kit, and from what I can tell so far, it's holding pretty well. So I'll let you know more in the future.